Amit ígértünk még nektek, hogy Barbara visszaérkezett hozzánk, és kaptunk 2 kérdést, tehát nem sokat kaptunk, de 3 kérdést akkor. 4 kérdést, még többet. Jó, 2 kérdést, amit kaptunk, az már Barbaránál van. Én szeretném megkérni, and I will switch to English now, so could you please join us again? Because it seems like we have many more questions than we thought. Because you have the 2 that we have received so far, and I'm collecting the other ones. Thank you.
I'm also aware that the question and answers stand between us and lunch, so I will try to be as brief as a professor can be. One of the questions: is it possible to burn out if we practice positivity resonance for a long, long time? I would say for sure. Remember that positive emotions are like a wave. All emotions, positive and negative, are as long as a wave. A wave doesn't stay a wave for a long, long time. So all emotions come and go. Even the ones that we co-create with one another, that I'm calling positivity resonance, they are temporary, fleeting moments. And that's the way they should be. That's the way they are. We like to think that love should last. The products of positivity resonance last. The bonds, the trust, the loyalty, the knowing that somebody is, one of the most important people in your life. But that doesn't mean that every moment with them is positivity resonance. Positivity resonance is more, potentially more rare, but again, a mild, short-lived experience that can be repeated very frequently. I think, though, too, that people differ in when they need a break from togetherness or connection. I know that I am an extreme introvert, and so when I have a full day of connection, I do also need that time where I'm just by myself. So it's important to have that balance and to know when your capacity for connection is waning, because maybe you're hungry or you're tired or preoccupied. But but we should also recognize that we can gain energy from each other through connection sometimes. But we need a balance. Positivity resonance is short-lived. We wouldn't want to overdo it. Just the same reason why you wouldn't want to pin your lip corners up permanently. Then you wouldn't be responsive to the ever-changing situations you find yourself in. Maybe one more question. Should I do this other question?
How much more time we have? So can we say we have time until 1:15?
5 minutes?
5 more,
okay,
5 more
5 minutes. Okay. Another question, which I thought was very interesting, was: what do you recommend as a next step or tool towards positivity resonance for people who have gained energy through negative emotions for 40 to 60 years? So I think we're talking about people who we see having spent their lives becoming expert in activating negative emotions. We all know people like this. Maybe we've been people like this at different points in our life. It's hard to know. Everybody's going to have a different inroad into what might awaken them to the importance of positive connection. For some, it may be a spiritual path. And I think we had a really nice example of how people's spiritual pursuits might lead them to that, aha, maybe I should take this more seriously. For some, it might be a scientific approach, being able to see that, actually these moments of connection are related to how good my day goes, how healthy I feel, how generous, half-hearted, I feel. And so for some, learning of the science might be their pathway in to thinking, well, maybe I should make some shifts. I got lucky in that I was doing research on all of these topics at a time when I was in my 40s. I was sort of getting that like midlife slump of, what am I doing? How could I save my marriage? I was, as a professor, I'm a workaholic, somebody who works too much. And so that was the place where I felt like if I continue doing what I'm doing, it's not going to have a good outcome. And I was raised in a household where there was no emotion expression, there wasn't positivity, it was just no discussion of emotions, no expression of emotions. And so I didn't have, from my upbringing, the tools that would allow me to kind of navigate through that difficult time when things were, kind of going south. I was so lucky. The ideas were piling up on my desktop. The science and the evidence was piling up on my desktop. Oh, I should care more about how much positivity I feel with my kids or with my husband. And that every day I could find ways to find positive connections, and that will build the strength of those relationships. And so when I took my own advice, this is before I wrote Positivity. The book was in my head. When I took my own advice, I felt like I could, I knew where to prioritize my efforts and my attention. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to write for a more general audience, because for me, it took evidence, scientific evidence, as a justification for reprioritizing my day, reprioritizing how I connect with my family, reprioritizing how I connect with classroom students, with audience members, with my colleagues. So it just gave a different way to infuse, a way to regain energy and a sense of vitality. So thank you.